episode. This is the next one in the series of Beatle album reviews. I went a lot longer in between them than I thought I was going to. Sorry, I really thought I was going to stay on top of this and be back in like a week or two after the last one, and then more than a month went by. Sorry, my bad. But anyways, these are still in conjunction with my friend Jeanette over on her channel. I will provide a link down in the description to hers, where she'll also be reviewing the same album too. So we're doing With the Beatles today, which, of the early Beatle albums, I think personally for me, this one's my favorite of those. Because almost every single song on here is a must-play track for me. There is none that are just hardcore skip every time songs. There's only like one that, if I'm not in the mood for it, I might skip. Other than that, virtually everything else here gets played straight through. That's pretty good. Just saying. So, I mean, our track list for this one, we have It Won't Be Long, All I've Gotta Do, All My Loving, Don't Bother Me, Little Child, Till There Was You, Please Mr. Postman, Roll Over Beethoven, I'm sorry, Hold Me Tight, You Really Gotta Hold On Me, I Wanna Be Your Man, Devil in Her Heart, Not a Second Time, and Money. A really, really solid track list, especially for one of the early albums, just saying. And I had my computer over here, so I had little things I wanted to make sure that I mentioned for the song, so as I look over here, it's just reminding myself what it was I wanted to say for each one, because otherwise I'll be sitting here just fangirling all night over all of the songs, which could be fun too, but I don't think that's what any of us are here for. So, first track, It Won't Be Long, was a really good one to open it with because it's just boom, in your face, loud, high energy, just right there. You can't help but just feel happy listening to it. Like the second you put this album on, it's an instant pick-me-up. I love it. The harmonies on this are great. There's the very distinctive Beatle guitar licks throughout it. Lots of drums. Just everything about the song is so much fun. And for me, it also additionally always makes me think of that bit in the anthology where they have the clips of them from the really early years that are set to it, kind of like a makeshift music video that's not officially a music video, but it's what my mind always thinks of along with this song. So I think of it as one, but oh, it's just so much fun all around. But so the next one on here is All I've Gotta Do. Let me scroll down on here. Alright, so this one is one of the, it's just okay songs for me. I don't hate it. It's not one of my absolute favorites, but I mean, I'm not gonna skip it. It's not that level for me, but it's just like, kind of waiting for it to get on to the next one that I'm more excited for, but I will still gladly listen to this, and by the time it gets to the middle of the song, I adore the middle of this song, so there's still redeeming quality here. But yeah, so I don't really go out of my way to seek this song out, as it were. Maybe in my childhood when it was all still brand new to me, I might have, but at this point it's okay. If it comes on, I'm not going to turn it off. I'm not going to skip it. But I also am not going to go, you know what song I really want to listen to right now? All I've Gotta Do. Yeah, that has never happened ever, I don't think. So, but the next one, I think everyone kind of collectively loves. It's All My Loving. I mean, how can you not love the one that started everything off? The Ed Sullivan Show, everything. I mean, everyone knows this song. Everyone loves this song. Just saying. It also makes me think of A Hard Day's Night, since it's in the nightclub scene there. There's another one that's on here, too, that's also in there. But yeah, it's such an iconic early Beatles classic staple that you really can't do early Beatles without the song. You just can't. And it's another one that's really high energy and bouncy and fun, and you just want to sing along to it and dance with it. I love this song. I love this song so hard. I don't care if it's cliche. I don't care if it's overplayed. I adore it to death. I will not apologize for it. So, let's see here. The next one on here is Don't Bother Me, which by title A lot of people are like, what song is that? Probably because it's a George song, and George always gets overlooked. But of the early George stuff, this is arguably one of, if not my favorite early George. Although I go and say that, and then I look at what other early George songs are on here, and I'm like, I take it back, it's that one. And then, again, with the other one, George actually gets a lot of representation on this album, which is unusual for him. I think that only ever happened again on the White Album, where he got 3. But for the White Album, I feel like that hardly is comparable, because it's a double disc, and out of all of those tracks, all he got was 3. Even Ringo got 2 on there, and George only got 3, so it's like, yeah, not really comparable. Whereas out of 14, George got 3. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, it's another one that always makes me think of A Hard Day's Night. Actually, this one, I think, out of the songs that are in the nightclub scene, this makes me think the most of it, is this song right here. And just everything about it, even as, like, a kid, I loved singing along with it, and kind of, like, trying to force my voice down lower to sound more like George. For whatever reason, I feel like I can sing the closest to George out of the 4 of them. I don't know why that is. At least of Beatle years. That's not so true of the solo stuff, but, anyway, that's beside the point. But I really love that song, too. Okay. So, the next song on here is Little Child. And it's another really high energy. A lot of this album is high energy, and I feel like that's why I like it so much. I'm drawn to it like a moth to the flame, probably as somebody who naturally has very low energy. It's just like, oh my god, you did the thing, let me touch you, basically. Let some of that energy rub off on me. But, this song is just a lot of fun, too, even if thinking about the lyrics in today's world, you know, a lot of people might argue that's uncomfortable and creepy, even though that was not the intention of this song when it was written at all. Back then, nobody thought anything of it, I don't think. Anyway. But in today's world, it's kind of like the equivalent of Ringo singing You're 16 nowadays, which, back when he first recorded it, not a big deal. He does it now, it's like, can you not do that? That's just, please don't. Even though it's a good song, but at the same time, the implications, it's like, oh, you don't want to be doing that. It kind of falls in the same territory, but nobody's singing this one now, so it's okay. But yeah, there's that. So, the other thing with it, it's like very harmonica solo-y in it, which, have any of you ever noticed how early Beatle years, John was all into the harmonica, all over the place, used it to death, even like in the live, I almost said productions, not productions, but appearances on TV, he often had the gear to have the harmonica that was on just around his shoulders, hold it up while he played guitar. He was all into it. And then it fell off the face of the earth. Like it never happened, and it was never spoken of again. It was like, what the hell just happened? And it's even weirder when thinking about at what point did it kind of disappear from the Beatles' repertoire? Around the time when they met Dylan. Which, wasn't that like a good portion of why he loved it, was he wanted to play like Bob Dylan? I say that, and then I remember the pictures of him in the Quarrymen, and I don't think Bob Dylan was a thing yet, so I guess it wouldn't have been because of him. I retract my statement. I realized it as soon as I said it. You don't need to leave the comments. But it is just still kind of a weird, interesting thing that he was like so into it, and then just brick wall. Just, nope, over it now. Into drugs now. It's like, oh, well, okay then, John, you do you. So, next one on here is Till There Was You, and that's one of those songs that I swear everybody and their mother makes fun of, but I fucking love it. I don't care how stupid, sappy, sweet it is. I think it is cute as hell. I love it. I do. Especially Paul and how accenty he is on it. It makes me love it that much more. I don't know, but so it's just one of those things where I know it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, fuck that song. I skip that song. And I'm like, Well, just for that, I'm gonna play it twice, because I love that song, so. Freaking original version of it, the Music Man version. I'm sorry, it has nothing on Paul's version. I've seen the Music Man, I've seen local productions of it as well, on top of the movie, but no. See, that version does nothing for me. Only Paul's version does, so. But then again, I knew Paul's version first, so in my heart, even though I know damn well that he didn't write it, especially with the one live performance where he mentioned, even by name, Sophie Tucker, I know it's not his, and yet I don't care. His is the only version that matters in my heart, so. Now, the next one on here is another cover, actually, and it's Please Mr. Postman. It's another one that I really love. Just everything about it. I get excited the second I hear that song start. I always have since I was a kid. I never outgrew that one or anything. Never got over it. Some of them I know we burn out on with age because they're so overplayed. But that one, even though it was in so many of the early TV performances, I never burnt out on that one. I always liked that one a lot, and I still do. And then the next one is Roll Over Beethoven. This is where I'm like, okay, you know what I said about the other song? Yeah, this one I like even more. So, which, again, another cover, but I don't care. I don't judge it when they do covers because, again, in my heart, Beatle version's the only one that matters. Who gives a shit about the originals, right? Because they're the ones who made them popular, as far as I'm concerned. Even though I'm gonna get so much hate in the comments for, that was a Chuck Berry song, you stupid bitch! He was way bigger than the Beatles, but he recorded, blah, 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 blah. I know. I hear you. I know what you're saying. That doesn't mean I care. So, again, in my heart, the only version that matters is the Beatle version, before or since, so. Then we've got Hold Me Tight, which, okay, you know how everybody else makes fun of Till There Was You? This is the one I make fun of. I don't dislike it even, it's the worst part, it's just, I'm sorry, I make fun of it. But I love it, but, boy, I feel the need to make fun of it whenever it comes on. And that is my only comment here. So, for the only song on here I will skip if I am not in the mood for it, is, You Really Gotta Hold On Me. And, again, I don't hate it. But I feel like a lot of it for me is, this was not my earliest introduction to the song. My earliest introduction to the song was Sesame Street, when Smokey Robinson was on it, and there was the very gropey letter U, who was pretty much feeling up his crotch during it. Like, for real, this is on YouTube, you can look it up. It was a thing. It was bad enough to where my mom, if that came on any episode I was watching, she was like, look away as soon as it started doing that, because she felt it was so inappropriate, and my brain cannot unlink this song from that. That version, Beatle version, it does not matter. Just, I can't hear that song without thinking of that. Which, it just makes it that much funnier, because listening to the Beatle version now, instead of thinking of Smokey having that happen to him, now all of a sudden I have the mental image of it happening to John, and it's like, damn it. Awkwardly, there's also a Beatles cartoon episode that used this song, and it was kind of the same deal, but it was an octopus and it was with Ringo, and this was before Octopus's Garden was written, which makes it that much creepier. Anyway. So that is all I have to say about that song. I love in my notes for the next song. So it's I Wanna Be Your Man, which I kind of went into this with the last album review I did, and said this and boys, like, when Ringo does them live, these are the ones I lose my absolute damn mind over. I go apeshit, and honestly, same deal with the album version too. It does not matter. I fucking love the song. But my notes, literally all I wrote down says, yes! Across the line next to this song. I was like, I'll figure it out when I get there. But this song, I adore the crap out of it. I have always loved it. I always will love it. Early Beatles or not, doesn't matter. Early Ringo, I feel like I prefer early Ringo to later years Ringo, but I love all Ringo, so. But the other thing with this song If you have never seen the Beatles concert from Budokan, look up this song from it. Just do yourself a favor. This was a running joke with my mother and I for years, back before YouTube, way before YouTube. I had a bootleg VHS of this. I think I got it for, like, my 9th or 10th birthday from my uncle. And of course, being the little Ringo girl that I am, I would watch this song to death. But because of the poor speaker system, and because of the one piddly little microphone for Ringo, poor Ringo is screaming over his drums and cymbals as he's doing, I wanna be a lover, baby! Like, it's fucking hilarious. And it was a running joke, like, for years with my mom and I afterwards, that any version of this song that comes on, doesn't matter, we would sing it that way. Because, oh my god, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then YouTube got a hold of it. And then the Beatles fandom got a hold of it online, and it basically became a meme. And I think it has now since gotten back around to Ringo, because now when he does this song live, and I can attest, he did not used to do this, but now he does. Now he sings it that way on purpose, just like in that one appearance. Well played, Ringo. Fucking well played. I love him so much. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you. Oh my god. So, there's that. There is that. You need to go see that if you have not seen that. It's hilarious. It'll make your day, I'm pretty sure. It sure makes mine every time I rewatch it, and I have watched that so many times at this point. I'm laughing so hard that, like, my face hurts. So anyways, I should probably get on with this. But yeah, like, seeing him in 1997, 1999, and 2001. Out of all three of these times, he did not do that once when he did that song at any of those shows. When I saw him last year, though, or actually the year before, I'm sorry. Wow, that was already 2 years ago, holy crap. But when I saw him then, he sang it that way, so I'm like, he's in on the joke, and I love it. He is not the butt of the joke, he is just in on it. So next song on here is Devil in Her Heart, which, the third of the George songs. And another one that always makes me think of the Beatles cartoon series. Honestly, a lot of the songs on here make me think of the Beatles cartoon series since the first season. They really went hard on this album. I mean, they kind of did with Please Please Me a little bit. They used Chains a lot and Misery. But and they kind of did with A Hard Day's Night, but not as much. But this was the one they, like, really went all out with. But yeah, so Devil in Her Heart, there was, like, a whole episode that revolved around the song. There was multiple sing-alongs. I mean, there was probably actually more than one song more than one episode that used this song, but the one with the witch is the one that it always makes my brain think of. Yes, I know that the Beatles had absolutely fuck all to do with the cartoon series. I don't care. I love them anyway. They're a guilty pleasure that I am not guilty for, so. Okay, so the next one on here, we're almost done, is Not a Second Time, which also makes me think of the Beatles cartoon series. The one where they keep trying to rehearse, and they keep getting interrupted by screaming girls no matter where they go. They make it, like, one line into the song and get interrupted over and over and over. And I think it's the one where, you know how there's the figurine set of them that has the little alligator? I believe this is the episode that came from. But anyways, it makes me think of that, and it amuses me for it, because my brain is half expecting it to get interrupted by screaming girls at any second when it first starts because of that episode. And then finally, the last one on here is Money, which is my favorite one on the whole album, and of the early Beatles songs, it's one of my absolute all-time favorite early Beatles songs. I'm still mad that Ringo covered that on his last album, because he did it so badly. I know that some people liked it. I'm sorry, I was not among them. I was very pissed off at what he did to it, and I still am. The only version that matters to me is the one that's on this album right here. Just saying. But yeah, this whole album goes by so quick, but I take that as a sign of how good it is and how enjoyable it is beginning to end. It is so good. I love this one. I personally rate this an 8 out of 10, which I know a lot of people won't rate the early albums that highly, but again, I'm generally in the minority for a lot of my opinions, so I don't mind giving it a really high rating. I love this one. I think a lot of people, if they would give it more of a shot or a re-listen, because I know a lot of people, honestly, they kind of forget how much they like a thing until they revisit it and they're like, oh yeah, it's one of those kind of things. But this one I never forget how much I love, so just saying. Reiterating that of the early Beatle albums, I think this one is my favorite early Beatle album, so. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel, you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time. Bye-bye.